everybody. Guess what time it is? It's time for our plank break. I'm spitting. I can't even talk. I'm planking from home today because I'm working from my home office. And no coworkers. Well, except I bet my coworkers back at the office are doing planks right now. So it'll just be me talking to myself. So we're working, always working on 5 minutes or whatever you're working on. You might be working on 30 seconds or 1 minute or 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm trying to hold one plank longer than I was. So instead of holding hands and then forearms and then side plank and going back and forth, I'm trying to hold each one a little bit longer. So I'm going to start on my hands today, see how long I can hold it. I have made it to 4 minutes before on my hands, but boy was I shaking afterwards. So we'll see how it goes today. So starting off, if you're starting off on your hands, coming into a table position first on your hands and knees, pressing your fingers into the floor, press your hands into the mat. So really round your upper back, pull and separating your shoulders, pulling in your belly, coming up on your toes, straightening your legs, shifting your weight forward. Remember, you don't want your butt sticking up in the air. This is not a down dog. This is a plank. And while down dog is a really good pose, it actually tends to be more of a restorative or relaxing pose or resting pose. If you ever do vinyasa yoga, you're doing a down dog in between, and that is your rest. So plank is a little more active than a down dog. 30 seconds. And so it's always, when you're doing plank, you're working a little bit harder than you are in your down dog. Even though in both, you should really think about your hands. Hand placement is a big deal. I know a lot of times people tell me that they start hurting in their wrists when they're doing down dog or plank. And a lot of that is because you're putting too much weight into the backs of your hands, near your wrist, rather than pressing into your fingertips. So we're at 1 minute. So I encourage you to really spread your fingers, bring your thumbs in a little bit closer, and actually grip the floor with your fingertips. So you're making your whole hand work, not just collapsing into the bottom of your hand. What is that called anyway? If somebody wants to let me know. Gail, if you're watching, she probably knows that. And not collapsing into your wrist. And really pressing into the floor still, pulling in your belly, keeping your gaze out in front of you slightly because we are working on that nice long spine. Pressing your heels back, pulling in your belly. I'm going back to wrist for just a second. If you ever Google how to prevent wrist pain in yoga, it has a really neat little graphic that comes up, and it'll show you where you should be pressing into your hands while you're doing anything on your hands in yoga. So plank, down dog, arm balances, handstand, one of my personal favorites. We're at 2 minutes. So again, we always like to talk about, or I like to talk about why we do plank. I know a lot of times people look at me like I have 3 heads when I tell them that I hold plank for 5 minutes. But if I tell them, if they are willing to listen to all the great reasons for doing it, I think sometimes you can convert people. It is really, really working on that upper body strength. It's toning your muscles. I mean, I've got some good arm muscles going on now since I've been doing planks. 230, we're actually 232. It helps with your nice posture, and it's one of the best things you can do to work on strengthening your core. And the core, again, is your abs, but it's also your lower back. So if you're doing plank and you start having lower back problems, have somebody watch your plank, tell you what you might be doing wrong. And it usually is an indicator that you're not engaging your abs enough. 3 minutes. And not really pulling in your navel. Pretend like you're trying to pull your navel through your spinal cord. My arms are getting a little bit shaky. I'll admit it. We're at 3:13 and pressing my hands into the floor. Woo-wee. Keep pulling in your belly. Remember, this is also a good little mood booster. Plank helps release endorphins, and that helps improve your mood. So sometimes you may have to convince yourself 3:30 to get off of the couch and do your plank, But if you can, I can almost guarantee you, you're going to feel better. And if nothing else, it's going to take your mind off of what might have been bothering you. If you were thinking, oh, I hate doing plank, or I'm having a bad day, or I just don't know that I feel like doing anything physical, you will be glad you did after you do your plank. We're coming up on 4 minutes. Woohoo! We'll see how long I can hold it here. On my hands. I haven't changed positions yet. Woohoo! 4 minutes. Here we go. We're going to see how long we can do it. Maybe if I just keep talking, I won't notice. I wish I could play music. You know, I was trying to think of good songs to play. You know, I like the one by Robin Thicke, Blurred Lines. That's a good one to play while you're doing your plank. I unfortunately can't play anything while I'm streaming on Facebook because it will be flagged and for copyright infringement, because I don't own the rights to any songs right now. 4:30. Whew. You think I'm gonna make it? I'm shaking. My belly, whew, everything is shaking. My arms, my legs. And you're probably at home going, why are you doing this? Why are you shaking and keep going? Because I can. I won the challenge. Okay, we're at 4:50. 10 more seconds. I can do it. You can do anything for 10 seconds. Hold it, breathe, keep pressing into the floor, and 5 minutes, I'm coming down. Woo! Usually I like to hold it a little longer, but I can't. I'm gonna have to roll out my wrist. Wow, shaking my fingers a little bit just to help get the blood flow going. Can you imagine the women's world record for holding plank is 4 hours and 20 minutes? I have no desire to do that, I'm just saying. But look at me, I held it for 5 minutes on my hands today. Whoop, whoop. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another plank break. See ya.